Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to What is Dharma in Today's World? How to Fight Adharma. Acharya Prashant. I was kind of interested in this one. There's another video he talked about Dharma, but I looked a little bit further and saw this one. So it's kind of interesting. What is Dharma in today's world? That's like, what do you mean? What does it mean? Dharma I've always thought is duty. Again, we talked about this a little bit in terms of Lakhane's video from yesterday. Um, but does it change? Why is it in today's world? Why is it what does dharma mean just in general? Kind of like it's something that's static throughout history. Dharma is dharma, duty is duty, no matter what time frame you are in. But I'm sure there is, how do I say, like different ways to interpret it, especially in modern times or in the past times where duty is always the same, but the meaning of it in current times may be a little bit different. So it is still duty, but what does it mean in current times, considering that the the place that we live and the conditions and cultures that we live within? So let's go ahead and give this video a shot.
Yeah. Yeah. Namaskar, Acharya ji.
Namaskar.
9 months, you have given me second life. I will never ever be able to leave you. So always stay with me. Sir, my question is, as Shri Krishna is teaching Arjuna to fight against Kauravas, as Kauravas are against Dharma, what should one consider a dharma in real world of today and fight against with the truth? Kaurva also denied the rights of Pandavas. One step further, they conspired to assault Kunti, tried to harm Pandavas in every possible way. There is lot of adharma in everyday life. Should we keep quiet, sit back, if somebody does a dharma with you, even if not at the level that was between Pandava and Kaurava? Dhanyavad.
There is always only one adharma. To keep a person tied to his or her animal center, the center of the jungle, the center of Prakriti and evolution. That is adharma. Dharma is an ascension, a rise. A rise towards what you actually are. But must always still aspire to be, given that you do not start from what you actually are. Look, if you look at a human being, his journey, according to him, starts from the day of his or her birth.
But
We say, I began on such and such day. That's the common understanding, is it not?
yes,
1st of January 1970, I began my journey. So when you begin your journey, you do not begin your journey from the right center.
yes,
So the entire journey is about reaching where you anyway are always located. It's about becoming what you anyway are. It's about unbecoming what you have erroneously become.
yes.
So that's dharma. That's dharma. Why was the war fought? Because power in the hands of Duryodhan would have meant policies that would have stimulated the animal center in at least millions of people. Hastinapur was one of the larger kingdoms and one of the most influential and powerful ones. What was happening in Hastinapur would have sent ripples throughout the subcontinent. It was a very central kingdom.
Yes.
Haryana, Delhi, Western UP, that was the area. So you see how centrally located it was. And very powerful kingdom. So whosoever controlled Hastinapur would have had a very important and strong effect on the population of the entire subcontinent. In his interactions with Duryodhan, in his experience with Duryodhan, Krishna would have clearly seen how dangerous was it to let power come to this fellow's hands. Power in the hands of Duryodhan would have meant rampant adharma, all pervasive adharma. Because we are people who get influenced, Yatha Raja Tha Praja. If the state policies themselves promote adharma, then the effect on the population would definitely be derogatory. Therefore, the war. Therefore, it was seen that in spite of the number of lives that are likely to be lost in the war, it was still important that the war be fought. The war was not at all for the sake of Arjun or the Pandav party. No. It was not at all for the sake of giving one back to Duryodhan. Oh, you have been unjust and treacherous all the while. So let retribution come. No, that was not what the war was about. There was nothing personal about the war. It's not that Krishna had a soft corner for Arjun or favored the Pandavas more. Therefore, he aligned with the Pandavas. It's just that power could not come to Duryodhan, it was certain, and therefore the war had to be fought. It's not about who really was the rightful claimant to the throne. Even that was not a very important question.
The war he's talking about here, is it from the Bhagavad Gita? When Krishna and Arjuna was fighting against, I can't remember who they're fighting about, because the story that I heard was from Swami Tadatmadanda's, I don't know if they say the interpretation of it, but his explanation of it. It's always mostly been Arjuna and I believe isn't it Krishna? Yeah, yeah. And then there was of course, the blind king. I think it's the blind king, and I guess the mystic that was able to see through, I believe, Arjuna's eyes. Is this the story they were talking about? And kind of interesting. I thought I was swapped because of um, Krishna, if I'm remembering the names correctly, was telling Arjuna to, you need to do your duty. That was the important thing. And Arjuna fought the war because he thought he believed he was wronged and it wasn't right, but then started regretting. It's like, they're family. Why should I fight them? They're my family. And Krishna pushed the fact that, you know, do your duty, and just pushing the fact that you should do your duty. I don't know if that's the right war or not, but let me know.
People often quarrel over those details.
Mm-hmm.
Dhritarashtra or Pandu, and therefore Yudhishthir or Duryodhan. A lot of people argue over these things. It was not about Dhritarashtra or his blindness or Pandu or his illness or Yudhishthir or Duryodhan. It was not about these fellows. It was about having the one right fellow on the throne who would help the entire population navigate the path of Dharma.
Okay, sorry. So it is a different war. My bad. I just looked it up just now. Just because the name seems different. I remember, again, Arjuna and Krishna being in the war too. I'm curious to now find in the Mahabharata. Well, it was in somewhere that I saw the Mahabharata. Actually, it was in the other one, duty, Dharma, and the other one in the Mahabharata. Oh my gosh. Definitely got to find this story. If there's a video, I'm sure there is, but within a reasonable amount of time.
So I dare say that Krishna would have tried to put a dharmic person on the throne, even if that dharmic person were not the rightful hire by traditional logic or ritual. Why are we talking of Yudhishthira or Duryodhan here? Because they were the senior most in their lines. But had it so transpired that the two senior most brothers on either lines, the Kaurav line and the Pandav line, were both rank scoundrels, then Krishna would have supported and picked maybe the youngest brother as his choice for the crown, if the youngest one were dharmic. So it's not as if Krishna is trying to settle things in a just way, in a matter between brothers. It is not a thing between two parties of brothers. It is a thing that concerns an entire population. Are you getting it? Krishna is not saying, oh, you send these people off to the jungle and that was illegitimate. Therefore, now you should pay up. No. It's not that. Oh, these fellows, they have fulfilled the condition of being away for so many years in the jungle and then for remaining incognito, agyatwas, for one more year. So they have fulfilled all the conditions, so you should give them their territory. It's not about all that. Even if traditional justice were to be on Duryodhan's side, Krishna would have still supported the Pandavas. because it's not about traditional justice. It's about a higher justice. Traditional justice says, give the throne and the crown to the eldermost brother, the eldest son. That's traditional justice. Krishna's justice is dharmic, not traditional. He says, the eldest is the one who is the wisest. Wisdom is the criteria for determining elderliness. The eldest one by age is not necessarily the wisest. Wisdom is the touchstone. I'll see who is the wisest one. I'll see who is the most dharmic. And that one I'll take to be the eldest. And he shall rise to the throne. That's Krishna's justice. Because to him it's not about these two quarreling parties. To him it is not about 5 odd people here and 100 odd people there. To him it is about the millions that are there in the whole country. We often fail to put the war in perspective. We miss the bigger picture. We feel it was about avenging the atrocities that Duryodhan had been committing. He misbehaved with Draupadi. He tried to kill the Pandavas in Lakshagraha. He tried to poison Bhim. He was always being unfair. He was always conspiring. Therefore, the Pandavas should fight for their own rights. The war was not about the Pandavas' rights. The war was not to avenge Duryodhan's atrocities against Pandavas in the past. The war was to stop Duryodhan from wreaking havoc on the entire country in the future. It was not about squaring the past. It was about aborting what was coming in the future. Revenge and retribution, these are small things for a wise man like Krishna. The wise ones do not get hurt easily. Why will they clamor for revenge? What is dharma then? Please always remember. The rise of consciousness is the path of dharma. We begin as animals. We must end, dissolve as pure consciousness. That is dharma.
Okay. So I'm assuming from at least that last part of the definition, Dharma has not changed I was gonna say in his book, but in his perspective, mind. I'm not sure how to say that, but from his point of view, Dharma has not changed because Dharma has always been the same. Like I kind of thought, it's like why you're saying in today's world, shouldn't it be Dharma's always been the same regardless of whether it's today's world or yesterday's world? In which he did confirm that towards the end, where Dharma is the rise of consciousness. Oh, oops. Right there. What is Dharma? The rise of consciousness is the path of Dharma. So this is what Dharma has always been to him, which is the rise of consciousness, meaning to be dissolved in pure consciousness. Hmm. Again, again, he. This is the thing about words being used. I don't. I know he uses consciousness and pure consciousness as two separate things. And consciousness is this in between ego and pure consciousness. So does he mean that middle part? If so, I'm assuming it's to mean that we rise from consciousness, this middle between ego and pure consciousness, rise to pure consciousness, to be dissolved in it. Or did he mean the rise of pure consciousness? Probably the rise of consciousness, because we are already pure consciousness, but we need to rise our consciousness to pure consciousness. Because that's the issue that we have today, is where we forget that we are pure consciousness, and we need to raise our consciousness to that level, to be one with essentially ourselves, to realize ourselves that we are pure consciousness, and that we go beyond the consciousness that we are aware of right now. Hopefully, I made a little bit of sense, and I hope that's what he means. I'm not trying to put words in his mouth. It's just my interpretation of how he says things, and how that's the reason why when I watch videos, I try to understand what they say and kind of put it in a little bit of a different sense that will hopefully mean the same thing, but also a different way that hopefully people may understand it a little bit better. But anyways, it is something that I would love to hear other gurus and swamis that I watch, just to see what they say about Dharma in today's world. See if there is a Dharma that's kind of changed, maybe to help out those who don't quite understand Dharma in today's terms, um, or maybe a better understanding of what is today's duty. Like, I don't know. But in terms of this one, there is only one, which is the rise of consciousness. But perhaps for, I guess, those people who are looking for how to raise their consciousness, and obviously would be more than likely reading a lot of his books in terms of Advaita Vedanta, and as well as perhaps even the Bhagavad Gita and a few other books. I'm not familiar with any more than there is one more book I think I should be familiar with. Not the one I just bought, but the other one. Um, I can't think of it at the moment. Because I know there's the main book, then the Bhagavad Gita, I believe, is a small section of that book. So, anyways, that's my reaction to Dharma in today's world. How to fight Adharma. Acharya Prashant. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. Thumbs up to stand down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.